Hello, everybody. So nice to see you here. See some folks are here. Could you just type hello in the chat so I know that you can hear me? The chat is on a long, yay, Suzanne, woohoo! Hi, Charlotte, Melanie. Hello, Marcia. Sarah, hi. Hello, friends, hello. This is so exciting. And hi, Karen Elizabeth. This is lovely. So this is a new format. I'm Alexis Cohen, and we are working with Zoom. I'm used to seeing the other folks' faces. So let's keep this really interactive, and please keep chatting. Charlotte from Tennessee, hello. Yeah, and I'll keep looking over in the little chat box to see what folks are saying. So hello, welcome to 5 Ways of Connecting with Your Spirit Guides of Creativity. I'm so happy to be here with you. And to start us off, so we can all come into this container, I'm going to just lead you through a few minutes of a grounding meditation. So we can all come on the same page here. Okay, so why don't you just take a moment and close your eyes. Just feeling the surface underneath you. And just welcoming the other participants coming into the space. We're creating this container, this circle, this virtual circle together. And just feeling the support of the earth underneath you. And just noticing your breath. And just noticing where your breath goes as you breathe in. And where your breath goes as you breathe out. And with each breath, just allowing yourself to draw more and more deeply into your internal landscape. Just letting the day go, letting the week go. And just acknowledging that you have carved some time out for yourself here this afternoon to connect more deeply with yourself and the spirit world and your guidance. So just connecting with that desire within yourself to deepen your connection with yourself, your guidance, and creative mission on this planet. So just feeling that support of the earth, and just knowing that line of communication is open between you and the earth. That support is here for you. And just taking your time with this supported grounds, and just opening your eyes again when you're ready. All right, welcome. And yeah, just keep chatting. This is I love the live interaction aspect. Hi, Jody. Hello. So who am I? My name is Alexis Cohen, and I am a visionary artist. I am a shamanic practitioner, and I am a creativity mentor. And my intention for setting up this training is out of a real desire to connect with you. I have been thinking about all of you a lot and tuning into what might be of great service to you. And, especially with everything that is going on this planet right now. And I talk to a lot of beautiful folks, and I work with a lot of really incredible people. And a common thread of the people that tend to be in this community and that I work with are highly sensitive, creative leaders. So if you resonate with this, if you consider yourself highly sensitive and a creative person, can you type something in the chat box? Do you resonate with being highly sensitive or creative, or both? Anybody? Okay. Yep. Yes to both. Both. Karen Elizabeth, absolutely. Yep. Great. So yeah, so this is really for you. And anyone who is not resonating with that title, that is totally fine. And this is just a resource for you. So just to give you a little bit of my background, starting way back when I was a little girl. And so the topic is about spirit guides and our connection to spirit guides. And when I was a little girl, and if you're highly sensitive, this may resonate with you, I felt very isolated. The experiences that I was having in the natural world, out in nature, in the world of my imagination, was very vivid. And there wasn't really anyone in my environment that I could speak to about it. So it became this kind of private world. And I was so shy, so introverted, in fact, that my mom's friend was concerned that I was deaf, because people would talk to me and I wouldn't want to talk. So really, really sensitive kid, and always felt like I didn't belong, and it was tough. And I hear the story a lot. And I was having these experiences with, just remember being a little kid and being out in nature and hearing voices on the wind, trying to focus into the air because I felt a whole world behind what I was actually seeing. Just sensing these beings in my vicinity. And the only way up until that point that the spirit world was being talked about in my world was through horror movies. That the spirit world was this scary place and you should not go there. And so whatever it is that you are feeling, you should shut it down because, or I'm going to speak for myself, I should shut it down because it is dangerous. And it was this real struggle growing up of, having these spiritual experiences and not knowing what they were and actually being quite afraid of them. And it wasn't until I was in third grade that our teacher, I was just sharing this with somebody the other day. So sensitivity squelched, I hear you. I'm reading the chats here. It wasn't until I was in third grade that I had a revolutionary teacher who brought in a meditation teacher, and she taught us. She would lead us through guided visualizations. And I have memories of being in my brownie uniform and being in a meditative state, and she would lead us on these journeys. And in retrospect, she was connecting us. She was bringing us to our guides. And I get emotional thinking about it. I would do this almost every single night in bed, connect to this guide and in this beautiful secret garden, like kind of with the book, The Secret Garden. And it was a lifeline to me. And at that point, it was a little bit of an escape. I didn't really know how to merge the worlds. It was just somewhere that I went. And that is really how my life was until my mid-20s. It was a connection to spirit and having these experiences of guides and, Karen Elizabeth, imaginary friends. But it was a very secret, private world. Even bordering on shameful, because I just didn't know it was and felt so different. And so in around my mid-20s, up until my mid-20s, it was really this dance between connecting with my guidance and the divine and pushing it away. Because no one was talking about it. I felt so strange. And so it was this dance. And by the time I was in my mid-20s, I had pretty much tried to squelch that part of me down. So much so, I was working in a corporate job. I was on antidepressants. I was just numbing out. It was really horrible, actually. And my creativity was squelched. And it wasn't up until I met my now husband, and I was sharing with him this experience of feeling like something is dying inside of me. And he brought up the topic of shamanism. And he said, in another time, your sensitivity and gifts would have been revered. And he shared an amazing book with me called Black Elk Speaks. I don't know if you have read this book, but it is absolutely incredible. And it opened up this whole other perspective that what I was experiencing could possibly be my gift. And then and there, I made a commitment that I was going to fully explore what it was that was coming through me and what this gift was, what this sensitivity was. So I actually quit antidepressants cold turkey. I do not recommend that. That was my path. It was very intense, and went on to just full on this journey of exploration around what it is that I was seeing and hearing. And I had another really big breakthrough when I was painting this giant mural. And it was a mural of the Venus goddess. And I was painting her, and I went to paint something else. And clear as day, I heard, "You missed my eyes." And so it was so incredible. Like, oh, there's something coming through this painting that feels really different. This feels good, but am I going crazy? And the art is this amazing bridge between the worlds, and I wanted to further explore it, but I was really concerned about going crazy, because what led to going on the antidepressants was actually being honest with a doctor about the voices that I hear and the experiences that I was having, and I was diagnosed. So there was this fear that I was going to be go totally crazy if I opened up this portal. I talked to an amazing friend who then introduced me to my teachers of shamanism, who I studied under them for 12 years. And it was in that community that I was able to really dial in that my connection to my guides and my ability to hear and sense them and communicate and be a channel for them and their wisdom is one of my biggest gifts. And being highly sensitive is an important piece of that gift. So, so far in the chat, does anyone relate to the story or even have a story of their own around this? So I'm just going to keep popping back into the chat. Quiet group. So, hello, Beth. Hi. Okay. So beautiful. Sounds like people are really they're resonating. So this call, beautiful people, it's a call for the highly sensitive ones like you to come forward. That we need you. That you are leaders because you feel deeply, and you are feeling this this message, this, I'm hesitant to say this alarm from the earth. The earth is really communicating right now, and our creative purpose is being highly, highly activated. And the highly sensitive leaders there's this transformation process that is really happening where we've been incubating our power for a long time, a really long time, lifetimes. And this is the time to come out and really use your gifts. And our guides, as we're ushering in this new earth, this new paradigm, this world that is already there that you might be sensing and feeling all of the time, it's here now. And our spirit guides are our co-creators, our partners in this birth. And you may already have a relationship with your guide, and that's awesome. Everyone that is going to be along the spectrum on this call, this might be your first experience, even thinking about what the concept of a spirit guide is, and I'll get into that. Or you might have a really strong relationship with your guide, and it's more about the next step of how can I listen and trust my guide and work in collaboration and creation, actually make things in the physical world with my guides. So this is, for everyone along the spectrum, okay? So where else are we? Okay, so what is a spirit guide? It's a good question. Yeah, and so I just actually, before I jump into that, I just want to read some of the chats. Yeah, great. Yeah, not being able to relate until connecting to shamanism. Yeah, having an imaginary life, all of this stuff, right? It's these worlds that we keep really hidden. And it's now is the time to birth these worlds, because we need these new worlds. We are birthing a new world. And you have really vivid worlds inside of you that are ready to be born. And the guides are the ushers, the midwives, our allies in birthing this new world. And they are coming in waves and waves and at this time on the planet. So what is a spirit guide? So it is a compassionate being or a field of energy, higher consciousness. It can be your connection to the divine. It's, in different religions, we see them as angels, gods, goddesses, deities. In shamanism, they're helping spirits, power animals. They can be the elements, ascended masters. So there's a lot of ascended masters, evolved beings from other dimensions that are making contact with us now to help us evolve and usher in these new paradigms. So a big part of connecting to guides is discernment. And so there is a lot going on in the spirit world. And if you are highly sensitive, you are tuned into a lot. And what I run across a lot with my clients, and I know for myself and people in my life, is that when you're empathetic, when you're sensitive, empathy goes hand in hand. We can be empathetic and very tuned in to the suffering of the world. We're very, very aware of it. And so what we are shifting into right now is when we're aware of it and we start to vibrate on the frequency of the suffering. But we are creative beings, so we are always creating. If we are resonating and vibrating in the fields of suffering, we are going to create more suffering. So with the help of the guides and actually tuning into ascended masters, they are helping us vibrate at a higher frequency of love. So we can be these lighthouses of love that actually support the transformation of the suffering. So we are at a time of raising our frequency on the planet. And this is based in love. So whenever you are connecting to the spirit world, just holding that intention that you are connecting to a compassionate and loving being or field of consciousness. Okay, so it's first and foremost, it's setting that intention. And yes, I'm just reading the chats. Yes, we are transformers through love. That is what we are here, right? So it's really tuning. What is it that you are? What is the frequency that you are vibrating on? What are you listening to? And people connect with their guides in many different ways. Some people are extremely visual. Some people hear their guides. I have a lot of clients that feel their guides just energetically. They feel it by energy running through their bodies. It could be a deep feeling or a deep feeling of relief or love or well-being washing over them, or just an elevated sense of relaxation. There's no right or wrong way to connect with your guide. It's just setting the intention that you are connecting with a guide, a compassionate being, okay? So, and also the way you connect to guides can change over time, and it also depends on the guides. Like sometimes I have guides that are very, very visual, and they come forward in a very visual way. And there are some guides that I can really only hear. Sometimes I work with folks that they've only been able to hear their guidance for a really long time. And then after a few years, they can now see the guide. So this is all about learning your own language, and guides communicate through your intuition. So it's learning your own fingerprint when it comes to the guides and the language of your guides. Okay. So I'm just looking at my notes here. All right. So, and you also might experience your guides at different times more vividly. So there's something that's called the veil between ordinary reality. So this is ordinary reality. Our physical world is ordinary reality. So we're talking about the world right behind ordinary reality, non-ordinary reality, the world of energy and spirit. And there are times that I know you have experienced where the veil has been very thin. There are places on the planet, whenever I go to Hawaii, it's like, oh man, it's just amazing. Bali was the same way, where the veil is very, very thin, and accessing the spirit world is so much easier. Transformative processes, that's also true. I was a doula for about 10 years, and the veil was very, very thin in births. And actually, that's where I have experienced very, very direct contact with guides, where it was almost physical. There are many births where I felt there was someone behind me, feeling actually a hand on my shoulder. And I kept thinking it was a nurse. And I turned around, and it wasn't. There was a beautiful angelic presence behind me. And so the first step is tuning in. Guides are always making contact with you. This is not about, oh, my guides aren't making contact with me, or they are not around. They are always around. They are willing to help you 24/7. This is about us opening up as channels and the willingness to communicate with them and collaborate with them. And so on this call, I'm going to go through, there's so many, but I'm going to go through 5 ways to connect with your spirit guide. And then at the end, we're going to do a really sweet exercise that combines all of the ways. And the reason why I want to do that is because you can get a more dimensional feel for how your guides are communicating with you. Okay? Because they will communicate with you any way that you will let them. All right? So yes, I'm seeing through dreams, voice. Okay, yeah, absolutely. How else have you noticed your guides connecting with you? Why don't you type in the chat? Dreams and voices from Charlotte. Yep. Anybody else? Okay. Shadows. Fathers passed through dreams. Yeah, those are powerful, right? Yeah, dreams is a really powerful way. Meditation. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you see something at the corner of your eye. I had one of my mentors, this was very comforting, actually. It was my teacher of shamanism. This was, very helpful. She said that 90% of the time when you are feeling contact from the spirit world, it is a guide. And that was so comforting to me, going back to sensing things in this invisible world and being scared that it was something that was trying to get me or hurt me. So that was very, very helpful. And that's not to say that it is important to be discerning with what it is that you are connecting with, because sometimes there are energies, lower frequency energies, that are telling you they're guides, and they're not. And that's actually what happened to me when I was painting that mural at the beginning of the story. I was, this guide was coming through the mural, and it was such a higher vibration. I realized that I had been talking to something else that was telling me it was a guide. And it was very clear that the frequency of this energy that was telling me that it was a guide was very limited. And my guide was this expansive, loving being actually showing me that this energy needed some help moving on. So it was a real opportunity to help this energy that needed to move on. So it's moving into the spirit worlds without fear, and that even if you run into something that you are unsure about, always making sure that you are connected with a higher vibration, a higher frequency of love, and there might be the opportunity for that that energy to clear. So it's about staying very connected to your intention of connecting to compassionate beings and fields of energy that have your best interest and the interest of all beings as its highest good. The other energies or voices are usually based in having their own agenda, right? Like energies or voices that make you feel like you should do something, or guilty if you don't, or a little bit afraid, or just a more constricted energy that is most likely not a guide. If it is an energy or a field of consciousness that it is the benefit of all, it's a win-win for all, and usually they give information and paths that you wouldn't have been able to see otherwise. So just keeping that in mind and feeling, as a highly sensitive person, you have the ability to actually feel these subtleties. And as you increase your relationship with your guides, it's going to keep unfolding and evolving as you do. You can potentially meet beings that are vibrating on higher and higher levels because you are able to hold a greater frequency and a higher power. Okay? Yay! Yeah, and just keep chatting. I'm reading. Yeah, corner of your eyes. Yeah, connecting through ears. Yeah, we're highly sensitive, right? Our inner vision is sensitive. Sometimes I can see better with my eyes closed. Often, your sense of hearing is very, very sensitive. You feel deeply. These are all because you're attuned to the spirit world. So this is absolutely a gift, okay? All right, so we are going to just go over the different ways of connecting to your guides. So, and we've talked about them already. So, so one of the ways that I originally connected to guides, and that can be really lovely, and that we'll do at the end of the session, is guided visualization. So it's an externally directed journey of the senses where you can either listen to it, or you can read it, or someone can guide you through moving into a different realm, moving into non-ordinary reality to meet a guide. And this is a really wonderful way to connect with guides, especially if you are new, because it provides a structure that you can relax into. So this is a highly effective way of connecting with guides. And so after doing a guided visualization, whatever guide that you end up connecting with, then you can sense this guide and call in this guide into ordinary reality. But guided visualization is number one, where you can really relax into the structure, and it's an externally directed journey to your guide, which we'll be doing in a little bit. All right, so the second way is, I call it on the page. And this is, I'm sure a lot of, this one's sweet. Yeah, you can feel it. You feel it. You physically feel your guides. Yeah. So the second way is on the page. And so for the creatives and artists and writers, this is such a direct path to connecting with your guidance. And again, you can be intentional. You can set the intention and really use the page, I'll just show a little page here, as a portal to the spirit world. So I have a practice every morning, actually, that I want to offer to you. And I don't have it around, I know, but I have a journal, and I call it my guidebook. And I fill it with messages from my guides, images from my guides, dreams that I've had, but any information that my guides have been giving me, I fill up in my guidebook. So that's something nice to just have around because, like I mentioned before, your guides are always trying to communicate with you. And if you just set the intention to tune in with them, they will communicate with you. So I'm just talking about different channels, nice, easy channels that they are happily communicating through all of the time. Okay. So paper is a portal to your guides. They emerge from the paper. Okay. So every morning when I wake up, I have my tea and I sit with my guidebook and my paper and I ask a question. A very simple one is, what do I need to focus on for the day? And every morning, I draw a little face and I just draw a little face and I do her hair. I draw her hair. It's just like, for 20 minutes, I draw. They always look like little goddesses with the long hair and, headpieces. And after she's drawn, she starts communicating to me. And I ask her, and she's looking at me. And I ask her, what do I need to know for the day? And then on the side, so I'm just going to give you, this is going to be very rough. So every morning I draw like a little lady, with little eyes. I don't know if you can see, I'll show it closer. Little nose, little mouth. Very rough here. It's not about what it looks like. And then I have my question on top. And then as I'm drawing her, it just streams in what she wants to tell me. And I get a lot of insights about, what to tune into when I'm working with my clients, potentially like common patterns that are emerging with the people that I'm supporting, something that I just need to make sure that I'm paying attention within myself. Anything, a creative project, but there is a lot of opportunity for communication with the guides through the page. Sometimes I do not even write. You don't even have to draw a picture. And so it can be a letter from your guide. So a really great way is like if you have two different colored pens and write a dialogue between you and your guide. So again, before you write anything, setting the intention that this writing session is to connect with your most trusted guide. What is the message from your most trusted guide? Or you can ask something very specifically of your guide. And then with another pen, different color, you can listen as if that guide is writing to you. You just let it flow, the stream of consciousness writing, and just let it flow. Okay. So, all right. So in the chat, how is this sounding? Do you guys do this already, or is this new for anybody? Is any ahas for you? We're going to put this all into practice in a minute. Anybody? Okay. All right. Someone's sound is out. Okay. This sounds like fun. Awesome. Hey, Robin. Okay. Awesome. Right. Great. Beautiful. I'm just reading. This is new. Okay. And people do this. Charlie. Okay. Great. Oh, I think I've been talking to a guide all these years and didn't know it. I hear ya. Absolutely. Yes. That's actually a beautiful realization too, to start bringing that into focus, that these guides are making connection through our intuition, through our artwork, through our writing, through our dreams, through nature. Going in nature, I mean, especially for a highly sensitive, creative person, the guides can come in so clearly through different elements or just the quietness of nature. Yes, Sarah. So sometimes I don't trust myself and ask other people with guidance. Yes. And that's why this practice is so powerful, because when, there can be this insecurity or distrust. So this is all about healing and strengthening your relationship with your guidance. Okay, so this is great that you are realizing that, Sarah. Okay. So then our fourth way of connecting here is, our third way is meditation. So again, sitting and being intentional and clearing your space, setting your space. I always burn sage and I drum and call in my guides, the guides that have my highest good as their intent, and calling them in to help support me, and meditate, and just really taking some time to get really quiet. And again, we're going to do this, to get really quiet. And what's also important here is to not seek the answers. So sometimes, we can meditate and we're up here looking for the answers. Like, what are my guides saying to me? We don't want to micromanage our guides. So when we meditate, usually the wisdom, the information, it can be, again, visual, you're hearing, it can be a sense in the body, it emerges. Okay, so it is also okay if your intention when you are meditating, when you're getting really quiet, focusing on your breath, and a message doesn't come, that is a message. That is, the quietness is a message. The guides might be showing you something else. So this is about paying attention, but the messages emerge, and they emerge. It's like a blossoming and opening, right? It's these messages inside you, activating these messages that are already inside you. Okay, so we don't want to micromanage them or try to pull in information from outside of ourselves. This all comes through, all of these messages comes through your body. Okay, that wisdom, that body wisdom. Okay, all right. Then so another way that they connect is through dreams. So you can have a really solid dream practice, and before you go to bed, you can set an intention and have your guidebook by your bed, you're on your bedstand or by your bed, and you can do the same thing that I was talking about earlier with the journal. Set an intention or ask your guides to show you through your dreams something that you would like greater clarity around. And what's great about dreams is you can't really micromanage them. You're dreaming. But then as soon as you wake up, writing your dreams and doing that for 10 days, thinking about actually doing a dream challenge where we all record our dreams on a regular basis and really notice what some of the messages are coming through. And also when you start writing your dreams, you begin to remember them more. So if you wake up and you're like, I kind of don't remember it, just start writing, because usually the wisdom, it's like you activate it again and there's more wisdom. And if you track your dreams, you'll start to see that there are different patterns and themes that are emerging. So the guides are really communicating with you through that subconscious field of the dreams. And the subconscious itself, that is where guides are really easily accessible when we enter into the realms of the subconscious. So another way that you can connect with the guides, and this is the last one I'll talk about, is through the shamanic journey. And the shamanic journey is it's an active form of meditation through entering into a trance state with a drum or a rattle. And what's really helpful about that is, living in our modern society, we have really, really active minds. And so having something, a sonic driver, like a drum, like a rattle, that keeps your monkey mind busy is very helpful as you enter into these different realms. So the shamanic journey is a practice that spans every shamanic culture, where the shaman enters into the realm of the unseen and connects with spirit guides to access visions, access healings, information for their tribes. So this is also, the shamanism is being highly activated on the planet right now, and a lot of people are coming back to it because this is what we are doing right now. Shamans are these, in shamanism it's called a hollow bone, or a different way of saying that is a creative channel. So shamans are these creative channels from the world of the unseen into the seen. It's a creative process. It is a birthing process. And we are all creative leaders right now. If we step into it, we are creating a new world. So this tool of the shamanic journey of bringing the information from the unseen world into the world of the seen, this is the birthing of the worlds. You know, this is the bridge of traveling into the spirit world and creating, actively creating, co-creating with our guides on the planet. And I have a feeling that each one of you right now is in this situation where you are being very activated. Your creative purpose is being very activated right now. And you are somewhere along the spectrum of listening to it, wondering how that's going to manifest for you. Maybe somewhere in the middle where you know exactly what your creative purpose is and you are in process of manifesting it. Or you are just like, you are in it and you are, supporting other people to do the same thing. Yes, Charlotte, the bridge co-creating, and shamanism is such a beautiful bridge for that. So why don't we do a meditation? How does that sound? Are you guys ready for that? Give me a yes, thumbs up. Yes, awesome, great, beautiful. All righty. All right, so just going to shift gears here. Take a little sip of water. I just want to say it is really, really wonderful to be here on this call with all of you. I can feel you. We're all doing this together. And there's something just so powerful about a large group of people focusing in one place, right? Really focusing in on accessing their connection with their guidance, their spiritual guide. So it's very lovely. All right, so why don't you close your eyes? I'm just feeling the surface underneath you. I'm just feeling the earth. She has got you. She's holding you. And just tuning into your breath. And just noticing your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Tuning into that rhythm, that natural rhythm. And just notice with each breath there's just a depth of relaxation, a wave of well-being. It's rippling through your system, just knowing that you are supported. And you are being held in a community of people that resonate with you and understand your experience. What a gift. And so just with each breath, allowing yourself to more deeply relax, to deeply relax. And just noticing that wave of warmth and relaxation starting at the crown of your head, It's moving down through your head and face. That warmth and relaxation, releasing any tension, noticing how your face begins to soften and open. And allowing this warmth and relaxation to activate and release your inner senses. Just noticing how your inner sense of hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and sensing opens widely. And just continuing down your body, allowing this wave of warmth and relaxation to move down into your throat, unlocking your throat, releasing your shoulders and chest. This warmth and relaxation bathing you, moving down into your belly, into your reproductive space, pelvis, your lower back, and your bottom and legs and feet. And just feeling that support. And just feeling this relaxation all around you. And it's just knowing that it's safe to feel this guidance that's available to you. And so just noticing your frequencies, this light coming in as you relax and open to this supportive relaxation and light. So aligning and attuning to this higher frequency of love. And you might sense this higher frequency of love in many different ways. It might be energetic. You might feel it in your body. You might see it, taste it, feel it, hear it, smell it, or a combination of all of them. You might feel a shift in your physical body. You may feel an expansion in different parts of your body. Just taking a moment, and again, this is your language to spirit, your communication to spirit. There are no right or wrong ways to do it. Just allow yourself, as a group here, we're doing this together. Allow yourself to relax into this higher vibration of love, this field of love that is coming in through the container of this call and this group at this time. It's breathing into this frequency, and if you're feeling any tension, that is okay. This is a workout. You might be stretching, and that's good. I'm just going to offer any places in you that might be feeling tension, just offering it love. And just bringing some of that relaxation into the center of the tension. You don't have to fight the tension, just allow it to be there. And honor that any part of you that's feeling tension is because you're growing. You're stretching and honor and love any part of you that might be feeling any tension. And then come back to the frequency. Knowing that this higher frequency is so much bigger than any tension, any obstacles to this frequency that you may feel. It's feeling this higher frequency of love. And just breathing in to this frequency. And as you breathe into this frequency, just notice if anything emerges from this field of energy. Maybe it's in a form of a teacher or animal, maybe a mythical being, an angel, an element of nature. Or again, it just might be a feeling, a color, a voice, a sense of well-being, expansiveness. However this frequency would like to communicate to you, and any of the spirit guides that hold the same frequency. And you're just going to ask for a general message at this time, opening to however this guide communicates to you, or however you're comfortable receiving the message. Again, spoken, telepathic. It might be a feeling or a sense or a vision. You're asking for a general message, or what do I need to know today? Taking it one step at a time. What do I need to know just for today? Just allowing that message to come through. And seeing if you can continue to relax into this higher frequency. Just breathing in, nice big breaths. And this is just practicing holding your light, holding higher frequencies of love, and just noticing how it feels in your body. So opening up to a dialogue with your guides, vibrating on this frequency. Nice deep breaths, just allowing yourself to continue to expand. And release, just knowing that you are held in the container of this circle and this frequency. Noticing how you feel in your body. What do I need to know today? Okay. All right, so we're going to start to make our way back, but just knowing that you can continue to hold this frequency and that this connection to God, your guides are available at any time. Okay. So thanking the guides for their support. Taking a nice deep breath. And just feeling the earth underneath you. Feel the support of the earth. You expanded quite a bit. So just feeling the support, grounding into the support of the earth. Feeling your connection to the earth. The cord coming down through your root to the core of the earth. So allowing yourself to ground into the earth. As you come back. And just taking a nice deep breath. Coming back into the room. Changing your breathing. Take a big stretch, swimming back to the surface of the room like a deep sea diver, coming back up to the water. And just take your time and open your eyes whenever you're ready. Okay. So what I would suggest after we get off this call is to do some writing and write your experience. And you can also draw your experience. And it does not have to, you don't have to completely render your guide or your experience perfectly. It could be very intuitive and process-based. It might just be a color that represents the guide that you connected to or the frequency that you connected to. So my suggestion is to do some kind of writing or drawing to help you integrate that experience. All right. So can you guys type in some shares in the chat real quick? We're going to end in about, I would say, 10 minutes. If you felt love, great. Beautiful. Expansion. Expansion in my body. Beautiful. Connection. Absolutely. Who else? Remember, this is a call for all of you to step forward in your vision and in your experience. So I invite you to share. Beautiful. Wonder, warmth. Lovely. Nice. Picture of a musical steam organ. Beautiful. Cried. Flow. Beautiful. So just getting a sense of this energy field, this frequency that we are all connected into and creating from. And so, oh, beautiful, a coolness, just energetic shifts, light feeling. So you guys can keep reading the chats as well. So the next step here, connecting, so the first step here is connecting to the guides. Like I was mentioning at the beginning of the call, we want to co-create with these guides. So it's one step to be communicating and listening to them. The next piece is to really trust them and co-create and follow the guidance that we are getting from these guides, because these are the ushers of the new earth, the new world that we are creating with each other. Okay, and so what can be very helpful is doing work like this in a group and having some support in ordinary reality to not only tune in and heal your relationship to your guidance, but to actually take the steps that this information is giving you, to take the steps to actually create and co-create with the guides. So I want to offer a free creative mapping session with me. I'm opening up my calendar for next week. And it's a 30-minute call where we hone in your creative vision, definitely talk about what you experienced in this session, discuss any obstacles to this vision, and come up with a strategy, a source-based strategy that is completely connected to your relationship with your guides. So I am going to, hang on one second. I'm going to put this in the chat. Hang on one second. I'm putting my calendar link in the chat right now, okay? And I highly suggest I have limited space, but if you would like to speak further about your relationship and your co-creation with your guides and how to really take actionable steps to creating from source and guidance, I would love to talk with you. So there is my link. Please check it out and put yourself in there. It's a complimentary free call. And we'll talk about what it is that you want to create and how to access your guidance and really implement a plan to bring that into fruition. I'll also send a follow-up email with a recording of this call and with the link again. But if you do it now, you'll be one of the first people to get a call, and they do fill up. So before we close, I would love to hear from, can you guys see that in the chat? Can someone just give me a thumbs up that you can see my calendar link? Or a yes? Okay, awesome. So yeah, and if there's a time that doesn't work for you and you really want to connect, just send me an email. Here's my email address as well. Okay. And I would love to open up the last few minutes. We have about 7 more minutes for questions. Who has a question or who would like to share their experience with this meditation, or just anything in general about your relationship with your guides? And this is about, again, coming out and speaking up, because you all have such incredible experiences and gifts. So let us hear you. Let us hear you. Calling you forward. Who would like to share? I have so many creative desires. I can't seem to know which one I should focus on. So this is spoken like a true visionary. And I can't see who that is. It's BJG. Can you type in what your name is? Brenda, hi. Hi, Brenda. So yeah, so this is something that is a common, this is something that I hear from visionaries and creatives all of the time. And what can happen sometimes when there is, so thinking of yourself as a creative channel, and all of these ideas, you're very attuned to the different ideas all around. And it's funny, I actually call this one the Three Stooges block, because it's like all of the ideas are trying to come in at once. So it's tuning in. Again, it's working really intimately with your guides, clearing the space of your creative portal of all of, anything that might be disrupting you, and tuning into your guidance. And when I work with women, we work a lot with the womb and tuning into what your body and what actually wants to be birthed through you right now. So my suggestion there would be connecting with your guidance and tuning into your womb space and listening to what is the next thing that wants to be born. Because one thing, focusing on birthing one thing at a time. As a highly sensitive person, I suggest it just to stay out of overwhelm. When we're trying to do too many things at once, we can get really fried and overwhelmed and spread thin. So the more focused you can get on one thing, you're going to have more fun, and you're going to have more success with it, because you're just focusing and you're going deep with one thing. So what I would say is there's no right or wrong answer around what it is that you choose, but you can work with your guides and tune into your womb space and really listen to what is the next thing, what wants to be birthed through me. And sit in meditation, call in your guides, resonate on that frequency that we were just dialing in, and listen into your womb space. And Brenda, if you want to set up a call with me, definitely click that link. Let's see, who else? Yeah, it's interesting, just about, I was just writing about, I get messages from newspapers. Interesting. That one's cool. This one, who is this? I likely get messages from newspapers, so they would be mix and match of different words displayed, and the message would come through. Wow, that is really cool. So that's an awesome way of seeing all these creative ways that the guides come through, that when she's reading the newspaper, different words pop out to her as a message from the guides. These guides are incredible, right? All right, so good. That looks like that was helpful, Brenda. I'm going through a phase of my life where I feel like there's some part of me that wants to break free. At the same time, my husband has a terminal illness, and at night my father came to me in a dream. Marsha, okay, this is from Marsha. At the same time, my husband has a terminal illness, and then the night my father came to me in a dream was after I asked for guidance. Oh, and guidance, and what my father showed me was hope that I would get through this. That is beautiful. I have chills all over my body. So that's a beautiful example of the spirit world breaking through when we're relaxed, we're in that subconscious state of mind. So that's another really great example of listening and paying attention to the guidance that comes through dreams. Beautiful. Oh, that's cool. Someone else sees the words thing. Great, Marsha, this has made me want to open myself up to the spirit world. Marsha, book a call with me. I'd love to talk with you. Okay, so that link is up above. All right. Okay, you guys. Well, again, it has been so lovely to be in virtual circle with you. And this is just a reminder that you are the leaders that we are looking for, that your sensitivities are your gifts, and this ability to connect to higher frequencies and your guidance is available to you at all times. And again, if you would like support in bringing these messages, the fruition of these messages out into the world, physically manifest these messages, please book that call with me, okay? All right. I love you very much, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And if there's something you want to talk with me about privately, you can email me, shoot me an email, set up that call. I'm going to follow up with all of you in an email as well. So I'm just going to read them. Beautiful. Yes, Catherine, there will be a recording. Yes. All right. Oh, it's so hard to leave you guys right now, right? Okay. Well, have a beautiful weekend. And something I'll say is that I'm going to keep doing these throughout the summer. Just to be in community and to connect with you, and to play in the space and to strengthen that connection to spirit. All right. Bye. Love you.